Hi everyone, this is iPhone Host, and today I thought maybe we could take a step back and talk about why are we playing video games. Have you ever thought about that? Like, what made you play video games and why you should play video games? This is just one of my opinion-based videos where I just talk to you guys about stuff that I think never really got talked about, in like this kind of setting. So like for my first point, why are we playing video games? Did you ever once wonder why are you playing video games? No, like seriously, like why are we playing video games? When people ask you at work or at school or like some other random times you're just out and stuff, like why are you playing video games? What do you tell them? I just say it's my hobby and it gets me out of trouble. I mean, like everyone plays video games nowadays, or some kind of video games. Like it's everywhere, literally everywhere now. Like even the older generations are playing it. Like my parents, I've seen like other parents, like moms, dads, like uncle, like even my grandfather before too, played a little bit of video games. Like mobile games are video games as well, right? Like Angry Birds or Candy Crush. That's what I'm talking about. That's kind of like what they like it's really easy. Like even like small children now I've seen, like it just sounds so simple, but it's just a part of our culture now. Like even sports embraces video games now. Like come on, esports, anyone, right? Like how did everything came about like that? Like this question just breeds more question to answer on why are we playing video games. Alright, I don't even think we can just answer why we are playing video games without telling or saying what made you play video games. For me, I have been playing video games since I was a child. Alright, like I remember my first video game. It was actually the old Nintendo. I remember playing the original Mario with a friend of mine back in the good old days. And I say that because with the online features now, you're just at home playing what kind of game you like, and then you're just basically playing with a bunch of other random people online. It's not the same as you actually need to go to someone else's house so you can play 2-player game or 3 or 4-player video games. It's not that it's not like that at all anymore. That's why I said back in the good old days, you actually get to interact with them even more so than now. So anyways, we played Nintendo, and it was actually the original Mario, that I was saying. So I didn't know what the objective was in that game before. I just know I see him play, just get that freaking mushroom, that's a good thing, and then just hop over the enemies. Just don't let them touch you. It's really simple, but I just couldn't grasp it before. And then after a little while, it wasn't mine. That's why I didn't really had any practice with it. Every time I just go there for like half an hour and play before my parents shows up and like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, get your homework down or something. Like, I just want to play a video game. It's just something that just relaxes me, and like just take my mind off basically from my homework before when I was a kid and just all that stuff. So then but I digress. So after a while, my dad actually bought the original PlayStation, and then it escalated more so from there. I remember playing Crash Bandicoot, Tekken, Spyro the Dragon, Brave Fencer Musashi, Heart of Darkness. Like, do you even remember or even know those games? I hope so. I mean, that started it all for me. Ever since then, I have been playing video games, and it just, it became my niche, my way of life. It was fun. What about you? How did it all started with you? I want to know. Okay, leave it in the comment section below. I want to hear your stories, everyone, on how you got hooked in playing video games. So now brings my last point. Why you should play video games. Honestly guys, at the top of my head, if there is one thing I learned from playing video games, is that to never gamble. Heck yeah! Alright, ever heard of RNG? Random number generator. Basically, on a certain stuff that you do, there's only a percentage, a small percentage of a chance that you can get something out of it. So for example, like you want a certain item, right? Okay, so like you want that item, and then this certain enemy or like whatever gives that to you whenever you kill it, but it only has like a 0.6% chance. Okay, like if you guys played like Castlevania, the Symphony of the Night, that was like my first Castlevania ever, because I guess I didn't really play it on Nintendo. Like I said, I never owned one. I was just playing on the PlayStation, the original. So again, like I remember getting the weapon Chrysaya Grim. If you don't know about that, it was like a really powerful item, a weapon there. It's just basically an end gamer if you get that for Alucard. So I remember you have to like kill the I think the yellow stonehead guy on a certain point. I remember it was basically when the castle is flipped, I believe. So anyways, you have to kill that a certain amount of times to drop it. Before, I didn't know why or what. They just told me, hey, do you want to get this a weapon? You have to kill this guy then. Like this head, floating head, over and over and over and over. Just keep coming back and forth. So that was basically my first farming or first grinding for something in a video game. I didn't even know that. So again, that was the random number generator, 0.6%. So the more you kill it, then the more basically the more chances that you might be able to get that kind of weapon, that type of weapon, you know. And if you really think about it, some games or even in life, like no matter how good you are, it just basically comes down to RNG. Like you can say that's also luck, but I don't think so, because luck is really like unstable, so to speak. Like you can't control luck, but you can, in some substance to it, you can control RNG. Because like I said, like if you know there's only like a 0.6% chance, you can calculate that. You know, like if you want to like do some basic math and stuff, you can calculate that to the point of like you can actually know how many times do you need to kill or, you know, basically take down this specific enemy to obtain that weapon. But with luck, like you don't have that time, or you can't risk it. You know, let's say I don't know, like maybe like, okay, if you jump off a building, how many, like what are the percentage of you surviving that? I mean, that's like a really severe and maybe like off topic analogy, or metaphorically speaking, you know. But I just want to get to the point where you don't have the time, or you cannot risk yourself basically doing that to prove how many times. But in video games, it is controlled, and you can actually do it at your own pace. You know, like if you don't do it, your character dies, just come back and do it again. Like that's it. But in real life, of course, you know, obviously you can't do that because you only have like, you know, one life and stuff like that. So but I digress. Okay, so yeah, we also do this in life. And even, you know, if you go to work, you grind for money. When you go to school, you grind for grades. It always comes down to these RNG like some factor in your life, in our lives, that we cannot really control. Or maybe we can, like I said, if you know how many, like what the percent chance that that enemy will drop that item, then you can calculate on how many. But in real life, yeah, we only go to statistics and the reports, you know. But that doesn't, you can't really get to that unless someone actually did it already. But here we know, because we just like, you know, Google it and stuff. I mean, I guess we can also Google stuff, but with the other thing. But you know what I'm saying. Like, that's just my point. And I know I'm kind of like rambling, but this is like a rambling video. But I just want to stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. In our life, you know, playing video games actually helps you out in critical thinking with these kinds of things. I mean, that's why I don't even go to Vegas. Well, I go to Vegas, but I don't really go to casinos to like waste my money away. Okay, because in video games there are casinos as well, and like how much money and how many times do you have to roll that slot, you know, the casino slot game thing, to actually get some item. Like, you're wasting these like sheer amount of money that you obtained with your time, effort, and patience into the game, and then to just lose it. Okay, Black Desert Online, anyone? If you don't even know that game, you don't have to know that game. Oh my gosh, like that's like pure RNG. Anyways, yeah, that's what I was trying to make across to you, which is the RNG in life and video games. It teaches you to prepare you to these things. Okay, like for me, like I said, you know, in video games, I gamble with my stuff, and I don't like wasting my money and my time. Like, I want to get that certain item, and when I can't, I have to redo everything. Oh, forget it. Okay, and that is why I don't gamble in real life, because I know if I lose this $100, okay, that's not gonna be fun to farm again. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have to wait and like actually do work, like actually in real time, you know, and just to lose that money. I mean, the greater the risk, the greater the reward, but you know, arguably, like some things are not worth it. Some things you just wanna, you know, play safe, right? How about you guys? Like, because for me, I think video games taught me how to live my life from a very early age. And when I view it now, as I view the world, I know, like, when I'm playing video games, like, I try to like interpret that to like in real life, like, hey, I mean, not the violence or the other things, but like economically, you know, like saving my money, buying that kind of item, not buying certain stuff because I want that epic or legendary weapon. That's what I'm saying, you know, that's what I'm saying, and it keeps me out of trouble, right? All ties down to that. At least that is how I view it with my own experience. But how about you guys? I want to know, what did video games taught you about life and how it affected your critical thinking in certain situations in your everyday life? Let me know in the comments below. Keep pawning those hoes, everyone. I'll see you next time.